everybody, my name is Alejandra Escobar, and today I'm going to teach you how to use a clinometer. I am also going to teach you how to build one. Something for you to keep in mind before starting to build a clinometer are, first, the SOHCAHTOA. These are trigonometric functions that help us determine triangle lengths and angle measurements. Today, we're especially going to be looking at the TOA. TOA stands for tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. To understand this, we must also remember the triangle sides. The hypotenuse is always the longest side. The adjacent is the length. The adjacent is the triangle length next to the angle we're looking at, and the opposite is the triangle side length opposite of that angle. So here, the angle is x, the hypotenuse is the longest side, the adjacent is the side next to the. To build a clinometer, you will need 5 basic materials. They are a 180-degree protractor, a straw, pieces of tape, an eraser, and a piece of string or yarn. For the first step of the building of the clinometer, you will need 3 items. You will first need the protractor. You will also need the straw and the pieces of tape. So the first step, you will need to attach the straw to the protractor. Make sure that one end of the straw meets the protractor, while the other one extends beyond it. When you have that ready, you may tie them. Make sure it is bound tightly. Once you have this safely secured, you may move on to the next step. Once you have that ready, we may move on to the next step. For this one, we will need the piece you just assembled and the piece of string or yarn. With this piece of string or yarn, you will tie it in the center of the protractor, of the side you attach to the string. If your protractor has a hole and the string is big enough to fit through it, tie it through that. If not, tie it through the main bar, but make sure it passes through the center and that it is tightly bound. It should end up looking something like this. For the last step of building your clinometer, you will need the piece you have been assembling and the eraser or small weight. So, you will attach this small weight to the bottom of the string. Again, make sure it is tightly bound. Once you have this, make sure it is able to swing freely. This is your clinometer. Easy to do and easier to use. As we mentioned before, clinometers are used to measure the height of tall objects. We cannot do so with any other method. I, in my example, will show you how to measure the top of that umbrella. That will be my object. So, your first step to using your clinometer is to step away from your object. Make sure that when you step away, you can actually see the top of your object through your clinometer. For the first step, you will want to move a few paces away from your object. Just about here is enough. Make sure you can locate the top of your object through your clinometer. Your second step is to mark your place and measure the distance from your object. So, once you move from your object, make sure you mark your place with a piece of tape and then measure the distance from your object to yourself. For the second step, you want to mark where you are standing on the floor, so you don't forget. Then, you are going to measure the distance from the object to where you are standing. For me, this is a distance of 2 meters and 40 centimeters. Your third step is to measure the distance from your eye to your foot. So here, in this diagram, we can see that this is what we did last step, measuring from the object to your foot. Here, we can see that the next step is to measure from your foot to your eye, not the top of your head, your eye. So here we can see that it was first 2.4 meters and this one is 1.62 meters. For the third step, you're going to measure the distance from your foot to your eye. For me, this is 1 meter and 62 centimeters. Your fourth step is to actually use the clinometer and record the measurement given by it. So in my example, we could see that when I saw the top of the umbrella through the clinometer, it showed that it was 70 degrees. make sure you remember all of these numbers. They will be important. Now, for the fourth step, we are actually going to use the clinometer. First, look at the top of your object through the straw, and the object will swing. Then, make sure you record the angle where the object is. So for me, this is 70 degrees. So, what do you do with that data? With that data, what you have to do is very simple. First, you have to take into account that this measurement here is the same as this measurement here. So we don't have to measure that again. We already have all of this. This is the same 1.64 meters. We also want to know that this is the same as this. So this side length is 2.4 meters. So we don't need this anymore, and we don't need this anymore. So now, using SOHCAHTOA, we already have the adjacent and the angle measurement. So now we're going to actually use SOHCAHTOA to find the missing side length. So here you can see that TOA represents tan, opposite, and adjacent. Because we want to find the opposite, we are going to do tan 70 is equal to x over 2.4. Because 2.4 is our adjacent, it is on the bottom. And 70 is here because it is our angle measurement. So now we will simplify this using a calculator. So it will end as 2.74 is equal to x over 2.4. Now, because this is being divided and we want to put it on the other side, we must multiply. So 2.74 times 2.4 is equal to x. Finally, x is equal to 6.7 meters. So, wait, that's not it. We still have to do an additional step. Because we use this triangle, we have x only represented this. We haven't measured this. But wait, we have. That's what we did at the beginning. That was the length from your eye to your foot. So, now what we will do is we will add this and this to get our final answer. So here we can see that the thing we got from using SOHCAHTOA and the measurement we got from using our eye to foot measurement added up end up as the final height. The final height of the umbrella was 8.97 meters.